Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing something fun with you guys. A few weeks ago, I came up with this idea to let my kids surprise me with any piece of furniture, and then I would give it a makeover. They only had two rules. It had to be under $30 and it had to fit in their vehicle. My daughter went first, and I do have a video on that, but it's only a short. I will link that in the description for you. Today was my son's turn, and this is what he brought me. It's a wooden file cabinet that he paid $12 for. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that this was something that I could work with. I've actually painted a few of these in the past. In fact, I have one in my home that we use. I have it right by my desk in my work area. I'll show it to you guys. I put these side by side. You can see they're very similar in size. The one that I painted was way back in 2021, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I've kind of ruined it by setting jars of paint on it, dripping paint on it. But at that time, I was going for a worn, distressed look, and it turned out so cute. I'll show you a picture of what it looked like before I ruined it, but I'm not worried about it, you guys. I know I can always fix it. Here it is. It was so cute. Anyway, let's take a better look at the piece my son brought me. Overall, it is in good shape. There were a few areas that will need repair. I will fill these with wood filler. I don't think that it will be a very big deal at all. While it's not like a vintage or a super high quality piece, it is definitely worthy of a makeover. I know that I can make it look cute, and it certainly is a functional piece. All of the drawers work nicely, and the metal slides inside the drawers are there, and I really do love the hardware. The first thing that I am going to do is address that damage. This is my favorite wood filler. I will make sure to link it for you in the description. It is called Famo Wood, and it's just very easy to work with. I just apply it with my hands. Sometimes your hands are your best tools. And it sets up fairly quickly. It sands down nicely. So I'm repairing that area on the top. That was the deepest gouge. So this will probably need a couple rounds of the wood filler. And then on the bottoms of both sides, there were smaller dings that you can see right here. And I'm just spreading that wood filler along those areas as well. Once it is fully dried and cured, I'll come back in with my sander, sand it smooth so that once this piece is painted, you'll never be able to see those areas of damage. You can use any wood filling product that you like. This one, it just happens to be my favorite. Now I am going to remove the hardware. Like I said earlier, I really love this hardware and I plan on reusing it. Whenever you can, use the original hardware, especially if you like it. Hardware can be expensive. The cost of adding new hardware adds up. And even if you don't like the current finish on it or patina of it, you can always clean it up using my hardware soup recipe. I do have a video on that as well that I will link in the description. And if it doesn't clean up the way that you'd like, you can spray it. And that's what I ended up doing with these. I did like the aged vintage patina, but once I gave them a cleaning, I decided that I wanted just a little bit more of a sharp look. So I used my favorite spray paint for hardware. It's called Rustic Mist by Rust-Oleum. I'll make sure to link that for you guys as well. I don't think I got a video of that part, but wanted to be sure to mention it to you here. I did end up removing that locking mechanism on the top as well. And while I was doing that, I found another little area of damage on that top drawer that I added a little bit of wood filler to, and I will go back and sand that smooth once it is fully cured. Now it is time to start prepping for paint. So I am scuff sanding the drawers. I'm using my Festool sanding system. I absolutely love it. It allows me to sand right inside my home without any dust. The sander is hooked to a dust extractor. I'll make sure to link these for you guys as well. I'm using 220 grit. And this is just getting the surface ready for paint. It will aid in the adherence. You don't have to fully sand it down to raw, but I always scuff sand my pieces before I paint them. If you do not have a sander, this can definitely be done by hand. I used to do it all the time when I first started. It will just take a little bit more time and elbow grease. After you're done scuff sanding, you'll want to give your piece a good cleaning. The cleaner that I use is Anvil by Melange. It's my favorite, my go-to, and I'll make sure to link that for you guys as well. But really, any cleaner will do. The color that I chose for this piece is called Classic Navy by Melange. It is so beautiful, you guys, and it is the perfect classic navy. The reason why I chose this color is because over on Instagram, we are currently running a monthly themed contest that is called Americana. And how much more Americana can you get than beautiful classic navy? It is such a pretty color, and like I said, just the perfect classic navy. Now, you'll notice I'm not using a primer. That is because with Melange paints, the primer and top coat are built in. And that's one of the reasons why I love this paint so much. Another reason why I love it is that it's self-leveling. That means that once it is dried and cured, you will not see any brush strokes. I exclusively hand brush all of my pieces, and the finish is always so flawless. I'm using the Rachel brush, also by Melange. It is my go-to. I love it so much. Let's move on to prepping the frame of this file cabinet. Again, I am scuff sanding the entire piece using 220 grit on my Festool, and this is where I'm also sanding those areas that I filled with wood filler smooth to make sure that they're nice and flush with the piece so that once the paint goes on, you'll never see those areas that I repaired. I made sure to vacuum out the inside and give the inside a good cleaning as well before I started to paint this part of the piece. This is what the repaired areas look like now after they're sanded smooth. Now make sure that if they don't feel smooth or if they just kind of still stick out, you might need to do additional coats of wood filler. I think that's a mistake that people often make. Don't be afraid to go back in with another round if they don't feel flush. You just don't want to see them through your paint. Here's what the color looks like on the drawers after 2 coats, but that was not fully dry. It will dry a little bit deeper and darker. Now you guys saw that I had my paintbrush in a little baggie. That's what I do to keep it fresh in between coats so that I don't have to wash it out after each coat. I either put it in a baggie or wrap it up with saran wrap. It's just a nice little tip or trick so that you're not constantly washing out your paintbrush in between every coat. I ended up doing a total of 3 coats on this piece. I probably could have gotten away with 2. The coverage is really excellent, but there were a few areas that needed a little extra, so I just went ahead and did 3 coats on the entire piece, especially because it is a small piece. It really was not that much more effort or work to do that additional coat. I do wait about an hour and a half in between coats of paint. Now, these drawers are completely dry, and I just want to show you what this hardware looks like on it, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. This is after I sprayed it with Rustic Mist by Rust-Oleum. Just wanted to test it out, make sure I liked it before I reattached it. And now, you guys, it's the fun part. The piece is basically done, and it's time to set it up and stage it and get it ready for photographs. At some point, I will do a video on staging for you guys, but I think it is very important. I tell people all the time, if you are selling your pieces, one of the most important things is to take good pictures, and you want to showcase your piece in its best light, and staging is really something that's going to help set your piece apart. So not only do you want to take good high quality photographs, but you want your piece to look pretty. You want it to be something that people are going to stop and look at and picture in their own home. And because I'm going for that Americana theme, I played around with some things that I have in my own home already. The little American flags, the old vintage baseballs, some old suitcases and crates. And you can see it's a lot of moving things around, stepping back, taking a look, moving more things around until I get it to where I really like it. For me, this is a really fun part of the process. Okay, let's just take a quick look back at what this looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. I think it turned out so cute. I love this color. I had never used it before, which really surprises me because I have done several pieces in different shades of navy blue by Melange, but I've never used classic navy. I'll tell you guys what though, it won't be the last time I use it. The coverage is so good and the color is just perfect. I think this could go really in any home with any style of decor, and it just looks great. This piece sold right away, and I'm so happy that my client is going to enjoy this piece in her home. I think my son did a really good job picking a piece that was within the rules. It was under $30. It was small enough to fit in his car, and I was able to give it a nice, quick, beautiful makeover. Here are a few of my still shots of this piece. And remember, you guys, as always, you can use my code JEN10 for 10% off your Melange orders. Thanks for watching.